We are so close to Andor. The first 3 episodes of the show are about to drop on Disney Plus in a little over 24 hours from now, and yet I feel like I'm more hyped than a lot of other people. And I get it, the general population doesn't share in the same passion that we do as Star Wars fans, but even among the Star Wars community, there seems to be people with a mindset of, oh, well, it doesn't really involve anyone of consequence. It's just this Cassian guy who was in Rogue One, and why should I care about that? And there's other people still that say, anything that Disney makes is going to be hot garbage. And then there's a whole separate group that fell off the bandwagon a long time ago, and they're just looking to make fun of whatever Disney makes, and they'll poke fun at any little bit. It can be a Luke hallway scene. They're going to deny it and talk against it. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the hype. So tonight we are having open lines. If you have something to say about this show, good or bad, but preferably we want to get excited about this show, then you're welcome to join the show. My only rule is no profanity. You guys all know that. But you're welcome to join the show, and we will talk about Andor and what we could be getting in the next few hours. Welcome back to the show. It is good to see you guys, all of you in chat. Like I said in the intro, it's pretty much open lines tonight. If you have something to say about Andor, you good or bad, then you're welcome to come on the show, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. But first, let's get to our comment of the week, and that will be from Mr. Principal. He says, what if we see Dooku's saber turn red and Ahsoka's turn white as an overlap? Mind blown. He also says the best insight and analysis I've seen on Ahsoka and Tales of the Jedi, really captivating and deep stuff. Well, I appreciate that you appreciate what we do here. And yeah, that would be an amazing thing to see. Dooku, even though they're totally different timelines, but we get to see Dooku's fall in Tales of the Jedi and seeing him bleed his crystal. And then also see Ahsoka do the opposite of that and purify her crystals. That would be really cool to see in Clone Wars animation style. I'm really looking forward to that. But the topic at hand, the hype train is real, for me at least. And I know for one of my guests it's real as well. But we got another balanced voice to bring on. Always love that balance. We're going to get into it. I don't have any kind of a stinger yet. I forgot to edit that. Before we get to our sips for all the people in chat, let's welcome our guests. I'm gonna punch him right in the clothing.
I got yeeted.
Thank you for playing that clip.
Oh, you're very welcome. All right, so how are you guys doing today? Paul, we'll start with you.
I am doing very well. I just ended a stream of my own. Actually, we were talking. Me and Crit were talking some Godzilla.
Awesome. That sounds fun. I know really not a whole lot about Godzilla, other than the couple of the movies. That's about it.
Neither did I before I started watching them. Basically, just if you want to know about Godzilla, go watch the movies. Best way I can put that.
All right. Well, before we get too many people in chat, let me give some sips out. Otherwise, I'll finish everything I have in my mug. Charlie, here's a sip for you. You're right there.
Doppelganger.
There's a sip for you.
Move your finger real quick on your mug. Is that the design?
Oh, it's a throwback. It is. It's a throwback, and I grabbed that because I knew you were going to be on here.
Thank you.
Is the old, but the slogan still remains true. The Force is family. I think we can all agree on that.
I'll get into this a little bit detailed, but we're actually reintegrating some old Star Wars guys stuff into fandomology.
Okay. Leia Rose, here's a sip for you. KG, here's a sip for you. I think I've seen you before on my channel. If not, then welcome. Israel Garcia, always good to see you here. Ladaj, here's a sip for you. Justin Scott, here's a sip for you. Nice to see all of you guys in chat. Charlie, how are you doing today?
Fantastic, man.
Awesome.
I can't believe we're this close, man.
I know.
It snuck up on me.
It's almost like Christmas. It has the same feeling when you're like it's been coming for so long, for months, a full year. You're looking forward to this day, and then you kind of snap out of it real quick, and you're like, it's tomorrow. It's right there. It's the same exact feeling, and it makes me feel like a kid again. Which watch Star Wars like an 11-year-old. That really does ring true, but it has that some kind of a magic to it. I really like it.
Oh yeah, man. It's I'm trying to stay away from like I've seen the first trailer, I've seen the second one. If they're doing like spots and everything, I'm just like, nope. I don't want to see too much.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was a supposedly Matt Cave said in one of the specials they did, there was like a 9-minute video or something that about 5 minutes of it, 4 or 5 minutes, was just a scene from the show. And I didn't
Really?
even watch it. I couldn't bring myself to watch it. I want to wait.
Yeah,
I want to
man.
wait. I saw the trailers. They look amazing. I don't think they give too much away other than what we expected. But I'm just really excited for it. Now, Paul, how excited are you for this show?
I'm actually going to deflect that question to Charlie because I actually have a lot to say in order to properly explain how I feel about this show at this current moment. So, Charlie, whatever it is you have to say about the show, you can go first.
All right. Well, Paul, let me get a number from 1 to 10. How enthused you are about this?
6.
I expected a 6. Honestly, I would have guessed a 6. So that's fair. Charlie, give me your number out of 10 and then explain why.
Oh man, I'd probably have to go with a 9. Just for the sheer fact of going back to characters that, some characters from the prequels, most of them probably more than likely, possible OG ones in there as well, and also the ones from Rogue One, composing the just the timeline and everything like that. It's just, you couldn't have said it better myself. Like a kid on Christmas. And what's he never approaching the holidays?
Yeah, and I'll agree with Ladage here. I'm a little bit less cautious than most, probably. I'm not too worried about this one. He says excited but cautious. I think I can agree with that. 8.5 sounds nice. I'm going to say 9.5. I'm not 100% fully sold. I'll do anything to support this show. Like I'm having an open mind, and I think I'll find things that I don't like, especially because it's being made by Disney. Some of you guys can infer how I feel about Disney. I think a lot of us can feel the same way. But I'm just really excited. Dat boy Steve, good to see you. I'm going to give you a sip because you've been here for a while. Justin Scott says 7.5 is about right. I doubt we'll get any Jedi, but it would be cool to see Cal. Yeah, but I think the reason why I'm not worried about this show, and I haven't really heard a lot of other people talk about this, is there doesn't seem like a whole lot that they can mess up with this show. Aside from it just being a poorly made, poorly written show, which I don't think they will. I think they can do a good job with that part of it. But there's not any Jedi that we are accustomed to. There's not any mechanics of the Force that fans can get really upset about, like there were in the sequels. They took a lot of stuff that we felt we knew like the back of our hand, and they altered them or completely changed them entirely, and it didn't sit well with us. I think there's much less of an opportunity for them to do that with this show.
And it is pretty much a proven fact also that Disney treats their own original characters better than they do already established ones.
Yes, that's true. I just don't feel like there's a whole lot that they can throw under the bus, so to speak.
Right.
What do you think about that, Charlie?
Nah, man. I don't think so. I mean, if it's gonna be like that specific timeline and everything, they're kind of outlawed, and it's gonna be focused on Andor and all that sort of stuff. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Are they not signed on for another season already?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So hopefully we get like Alan Tudyk at some point when he meets that awesome droid. Love that guy.
Yes, I do hope we get to see K2SO. I don't know if there's any confirmation, but I would, I would love that. At least in season 2, that would be very nice because K2SO and Cassian are Chewbacca and Han Solo.
Yeah.
Just a different version of them, and we need to see how they get united at the beginning. KG says something I completely agree with. I think this is the more mature story that fans have been wanting to see, and they just didn't know it. I've been saying that for about a year now. About a year. Yes, we do need to see K2SO. So there's the darker, grittier aspect of this show that everyone's talking about that I called from the very beginning. I said, just give us a spy thriller and make it serious and grounded in reality and give us mortals as opposed to these, these deities, the Jedi that can move things with their minds. Like give us how people would behave in this situation. There's just so much they could do with it, and I think they're going to. Well, it's already done. We're just waiting for them to release it, but
Of course.
I think they've done it. It just has to play out. But
Oh yeah.
Well, here's how I'm seeing things right now. And in order to properly set the tone for this, we kind of have to follow up on the last time that we were on stream together, Coffee on Korriban, where I, at that particular moment in time, was at an all-time low with Star
Yeah.
Wars. That is no longer the case. Now, like I said, my hype level, being perfectly honest, I'm completely incapable of hype still, but I'm not actively trying to block it out anymore because I had a realization one day at work that back before Disney ever bought Star Wars, all I really had was the original 6 movies. And that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the original 6 movies are really all that I need. Therefore, at least to me, I only consider the original 6 movies as pretty much set in stone gospel canon.
Right.
Everything else, be it Disney stuff, the 3D Clone Wars, the 2D Clone Wars, or Legends, anything that is not the original 6 movies, I now look at it as speculation of what could have happened in that time period, where perhaps the Andor show, as it's about to play out, could have happened, or something else could have happened that would require you to use your imagination to figure out, which I think is pretty fun. So that's the mentality that I'm going into Andor now. And the second thing with Andor is I am taking the tactic of I am not going to be watching this as it releases. I'm going to wait until all the episodes are out, and then I'm going to watch the whole thing in one go. And again, I believe this is something you mentioned last time, Tim, that part of what ruined Book of Boba Fett, and especially Kenobi for me, was that week in between where we had time to sit and stew on it. In fact, even you yourself has said for the Bad Batch, that week between episodes 15 and 16.
Ooh, yeah, that was bad. That was horrible. It would have been a great finale if those two parts had been stitched together, because thinking back to the Bad Batch, that was quite a while ago. About a year ago, right? A little over a year. Wow.
Thinking of all the stuff that's happened within that year feels like forever.
Seriously. But thinking back to that, it was the destruction of Camino and the blow that dealt us as fans. And then if they had been stitched together, as one finale episode, it would have been the destruction of Camino, and we as fans don't have time to grieve because they have to escape. Once they make it up to the surface, now we have time to breathe and feel sad about that. It would have been a great finale, but they split it up into 2 episodes. Exactly. That's just an editing decision or marketing, if that's Disney trying to get people to pay for an extra week. I don't know.
But yeah, that's pretty much where I sit with that for Andor right now.
Can you confirm?
I kicked any type of alcohol 10 years ago, bud.
Nice. Congrats. I don't drink. I've had
Neither do I.
maybe 5 bottles of wine total over my entire adult life.
That's
So,
actually more than
I-
I've had.
Yeah, I don't drink. It's been like a year since the last sip, and it's only ever been wine. I've never even had beer. So it's
Right on that. So deny.
that's where all the fun is, though. No, I don't need anything other than coffee and water,
Water, green tea.
which is just coffee without flavor.
Yeah. Wooing
That is
source.
true.
My jam.
Yeah. Let's see. Steve also says 2 seasons. Season 1 is 5 before the Battle of Yavin. Season 2 is 4-0 BBY. Season 2's 12 episodes will be arcs of 3, each covering a year. I'm down with that.
Okay.
I'm down with that. It'll give us an insight into different parts in the war. That's really cool. Congrats. That's really cool. Hope you reach another decade and more. Yeah, that really is awesome.
Oh, thank you, man.
All
I
right.
didn't need it. Nah.
All right. So, what do you think we can expect out of these first 3 episodes? Paul, starting with you, because I don't know if you expect anything.
I think the most logical thing to expect is a lot of setting the stage. Here's where we are right now in the galaxy. This is where we're at in the timeline of the Empire being in power. I would expect, oh my God, there's a troll in the chat. You need to kick him. He keeps following me, bugging me for McDonald's coupons, and I've sent it to him multiple times. But anyways, I'm expecting that we're going to get a lot of this is where we are now. This is what it's taken to get here. And let's go from here.
Mm-hmm. Charlie, what about you? What are you expecting out of the first 3 episodes?
Well, usually if it's a good like pilot, they usually tend to have it like at least like 45 to an hour, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting like 3 episodes in one night. Thankfully I don't have to work that day. Nah, I can't wait, man. The first night probably establishing, because again, my buddy, yeah, that's right. Told me that I had something I never thought about or anything like that. Because again, I knew next to nothing when it comes to Cassian or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know he was from the CIS. He grew up on that side.
Yeah,
So,
it's very interesting.
Possibilities of just opening part of the flashbacks to his childhood or something like that, possible thing like that, and go right into the story and everything like that, how he becomes what we see in Rogue One, how he's kind of the gray area, and then at the very end, how that
Right.
happened.
And that's interesting to me, because for someone who grew up in the CIS, the Republic were the bad guys.
Mhm.
The clones were the villains. They came in and occupied your home. And
They show that in one of the trailers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they come and occupy your home. And from what I hear, Cassian Andor's dad is going to be hanged by the Republic forces for treason. If you're a separatist system and you do something against the Republic, you are a traitor. And I believe, from what I've heard it from a couple different places. I don't know if it's official, but Cassian's dad is going to be hanged. So I expect that in the first 3 episodes. I also expect something to blow us away. I don't know what, but I think something will really blow us away, and it might come in the 3rd episode, and that might be the reason why they're releasing 3 all at once. Maybe the first 2 are more of a slow burn, introducing characters and setting, and here's the different players, because for the general audience, they don't know who the CIS is. They don't know what the separatists really are. It's not explained to them. They know the rebels and the Empire. And so
Right.
we need setup for that people, for the general population. But there needs to be something to hook those people, instead of like, oh, this is just politics all over again. It's the prequels. We didn't want this, even though, like, yeah, we want this.
Yeah.
But I feel like something really, really significant is going to happen in episode 3. That's my prediction. We'll check back next week, and we'll see how right I was. But
Yeah.
that would be my prediction.
And also the fact that they would be giving us something from the separatist point of view, that in itself is pretty huge, because we've always had the point of view be focused, for better or worse, from the side of the Republic. And of course, the Republic has their point of view on the separatists. They're the traitors, they're the enemy.
Right.
But the separatists, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, all they really wanted was to be able to govern themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republic basically wanted to keep them as part of the Republic.
Yep.
So that's pretty much what started, at least on from the separatist point of view, what started the war.
Yep. And from their perspective, when the Republic transitioned into the Empire,
Mm-hmm.
they looked at it and said, look, that's what we were warning you guys against. We knew that it was just a quest for power, and it was going to turn into this overreaching governing body that there is no accountability for. There's no democracy. He could watch it die with thunderous applause.
I was waiting for something like that.
A shiver.
Although
just
she says liberty, doesn't she? This is how
Yes.
liberty dies. With
Liberty
same
thunderous
thing.
applause.
With thunderous
Yeah.
applause.
And
Well-
and I gotta say, Tim, as you were describing that, I couldn't help but see today in my mind as you were saying that. Not to go any further than that.
About
Basically, to go a little bit further today, as far as like news headlines and such, and what's going on politically.
I don't even know what happened today, honestly. If
Oh,
anything-
I'm not saying today specifically. I'm just talking about in today's day and age.
Oh, well, it's funny you mentioned that, because it is time for this week's The Way the News Goes.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire.
This is new.
So apparently, COVID is over. That's the way the news goes.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire.
Nice.
That's it. That's it. All right.
I like that.
So getting back to Andor. What
Yes.
were we talking about?
The information of how they got the thought about the CIS thought about the Republic.
Yes. Yeah. And so to them, it's the same. Glad you left. But to them, it's the same. The Republic, especially on the planets that were occupied by clones, and now the Empire, the stormtroopers look identical to the clones to most people. It's the same people. And so that lends credence to the line, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Of course he has. It's the same fight in his eyes. And there's no real reason to be, emotionally involved until what we see in Rogue One. To him, it's just that's his life. He's fighting against the same bad guy. CIS wasn't wrong. CIS leaders may have been evil, but the average separatist was more than justified in their fight. Yeah, absolutely. And that begs the question, is the CIS the America in the American Revolution in that story? Kinda? I don't know.
Who knows?
And then other people probably would argue that it's the American South that is the CIS in the Civil War. I don't know how that comparison goes. I don't know a whole lot about the Civil War, but all right. Mickey D's and Charlie's Moonshine. Welcome to the stream.
I just want to point out that Paul's still wearing his Star Trek shirt. How could you wear a Star Trek?
And I just wanted to point out the fact that you weren't there when we were watching and reviewing Godzilla.
I got out of it.
I know you did.
Yep. But that
All right.
still doesn't excuse why you're wearing a Star Trek shirt in a Star Wars stream.
They're my pajamas, okay?
Because
Uh-huh.
I'm drinking from a mug from a channel that doesn't exist anymore. Okay. None of this makes sense. Doesn't have to. All right, Phil, before we get any farther, give me a rating out of 10. How excited you are for Andor and why.
2. And I know a lot of people will be disappointed that I'm giving it a 2. but a lot of this has to do with after effects of Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan.
And that's fair. I know a lot of people feel the exact same way.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people, and this is not me ridiculing them, but a lot of people, after you got 2 minutes of Luke Skywalker and Mandalorian, everybody was up for joy. And
Mhm.
I think it was premature to be up for joy. Whatever your thoughts and feelings on the last two shows, we can all say it wasn't perfect or it didn't meet everybody's expectations. Even if you liked it, it didn't meet everybody's expectations.
Right.
So going into this, I do like the idea of the time period because we don't have a lot of that time period. So I'll give it a plus there. But I'll be honest, I would have rather had something like Rogue Squadron
Hmm.
at this time, right after the Battle of Endor and leading up to the foundation of the New Republic. I would rather have that and Wedge.
Sure.
Hopefully we'll get that somewhere down the road, but from what I understand, they canceled the show again.
Yeah, I
So
heard the
I
same.
don't have hope for that. But I do agree with you on the analogies you were using the Revolutionary War and the Civil War with the CIS and the New Republic and Old Republic and the CIS. There's a lot of analogies there. I mean, when you see the Old Republic, you feel for the Jedi and you feel for the clones, but you don't feel 100% behind the cause, so to say. You
Right.
start feeling towards the end of whatever you're watching, like be it the 3D Clone Wars, the movies, whatever. You feel a change. There's going to be a change, regardless of how everything played out. And I think a lot of it, you get when you're watching the 3D Clone Wars, you see the point of the CIS sometimes. I'm not saying they're all on the right either,
Right.
but you can say about good 30% of what they are trying to do. Forget what Dooku and the top minions are doing. The overall dissent that, people don't want to be part of the Old Republic anymore. They just want to be left alone and go on their own way.
Sure. And that's the same. There's a parallel there between the Jedi and the Sith because there are Sith with not purely evil intentions.
Hmm.
For example, Dooku, he wasn't out to take over the universe. He wasn't out there just to kill and enslave people, although a lot of Sith lords were. But then also you see the Jedi Order, and ultimately the structure of it is set up to be good. The tenets of the Jedi Order, the Jedi Code are pure in heart, but in practice it's very corrupt. The Jedi Order is corrupt, and so there's the same of that on both sides. And there's definitely a parallel there to what you mentioned about the CIS versus the Republic.
There's also, even when you're talking about the Sith, you have pure Sith, like somebody like Palpatine, and then you have Jedi that have fallen. Your
Sure.
Dooku's, your Anakin Skywalkers, So they're no matter how far they've fallen, they still have that. How can I put it? That's still that training, that them ideas are still flowing to it. What they're trying to do and what they're trying to go against. I mean, when you hear Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he almost makes the calls right there. Look, gotta have a change. Empire makes everything happen. You don't have to go through the bureaucracy. Look at today's society. We got bureaucracy that we can't control or have a say through. Half
And
time.
together, you and I can rule the galaxy and make
There
things
you
the way
go,
we
you
want
know?
them to be.
I mean, in today's world, we're 100 years removed from absolute monarchs. So we don't
Mhm.
really have today anything beside a dictator somewhere
Sure.
that you can compare to an absolute Sith. But you can understand a fallen Jedi, you know.
Sure.
So
And there's something you mentioned just a few minutes ago in that I think is what I'm most excited long term for this show for. Obviously, the action is going to be fun and learning new characters, but the biggest thing for me in Star Wars always, and I've said this at least 100 times on my channel, is the world building. And you mentioned that there's a gap in the story that we don't have before in how the rebellion forms, in what happens to these CIS systems, what happens to them after the Empire takes over. We saw a little bit of that in the Bad Batch, and it was really interesting. But there's a whole lot that we don't know about this time period. Bad Batch actually, I think, is very underrated for that in that aspect, because we got to learn about the chain codes in the ship registries, the currency changing, like all of these things, that the changing from the phase 2 clone armors into the phase 1 stormtrooper armor. Like there's so much that we got in that show that we never had before. What happened directly after Order 66? We didn't have that. And I think Andor, especially if it's reaching from 20 BBY all the way up to where we see him in Rogue One, there is so much in there, especially if they're going arc by arc, that they can fill in those gaps. There's huge potential for that. So on the world building front, that's what I'm most excited for.
The
and
fact
I
that you
hope no
just said that,
Tatooine in any episode of Andor.
No Tatooine.
Do not
Yeah.
touch Tatooine.
but again, the fact that you said that they're going arc by arc, we know that we're going to get some of Andor as a kid. And if you remember, one of the most common complaints about Book of Boba Fett was the way that they handled their flashbacks. So what if
Right.
Andor, what if the entire first arc is nothing but kid Andor, and then the rest of the show is adult Andor? I think that
I would be fine with that. I'd be totally fine with that. There's ways to make that work. Definitely, there's ways to make anything work. Is that going to draw in the general public?
we don't know.
Maybe. I think flashbacks can be a very useful tool if they're done the right way. The way they were done in Book of Boba Fett, I really appreciated, but a lot of people didn't really catch the right way. I really liked the storytelling in Book of Boba Fett a lot more than most people. But Inception and Tenet are like my two favorite movies. So, I mean, what does that tell you?
Which we still have not reviewed, by the way.
You did see Tenet though?
I did.
Okay.
But if
Yes,
we review it,
we do
I'll
have
watch
to
it
have a
again.
stream. Okay. Yeah, watch it again. It's such a good. It's so good. That's so good. Yeah, KG says that would be okay to me. The whole thing is a prequel anyway. Exactly. Let's catch on this real quick. Dat Boy Steve says, "Tell me something you liked about the thing you hate the most in Star Wars." So for me, that would be the prequels or sequels rather. But I'll let you guys go first. Something that you liked about the thing that you hate the most in Star Wars.
Okay, so for me, that's an easy one. I liked the Anakin and Obi-Wan flashbacks in Kenobi. I dare say they were the best part of that show.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Oh man.
I'll go real quick. The Matt Cave edit of The Last Jedi.
Thank you. There you go. Yeah, I flashpoint those entire things out of my head, so I just don't have to think about them.
No,
so I'll take that. I'll double down.
There's bits and pieces of the sequel trilogy that I really liked.
You know what? Never mind. Adam Driver's a good actor. There we go. I have spoken.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, there are bits and pieces all over the sequel trilogy of stuff that I liked. But I never really allowed myself to appreciate any of them until the Matt Cave edit of The Last Jedi. And when you take off the baggage of all the unnecessary stuff, take out Canto Bight and the Code Breaker and all the, Luke hermitization, you take all that away, and there's actually a really good story there. Mm-hmm. It's actually a really good movie with all that poop taken off the top. So, and Matt Cave showed us actually what it could have been. It could have been so much more, and an hour less.
Amazing.
But yeah, Phil, what do you got?
I wish I could say something good. I'm sorry, I can't. The only thing I could say that something that I'd like that I hate. Well, I hated since Disney took over, but I will say this: one person puts a suggestion out there on YouTube. I'm not going to mention the name, but go into the Last Jedi and the last movie. I forget out of the sequel trilogy. I'm sorry, that's the only Star Wars movie I never saw.
Yeah, Rise of
but-
Palpatine.
Yeah.
You didn't miss
The
much.
only thing they said was try watching it not as Luke Skywalker, but as his clone from the Thrawn series, the
Sure.
clone of Luke. That's not Luke at all. That's the clone of Luke.
Luke.
Yeah, with the
Yeah,
extra
Luke
U.
with 2 U's.
Yeah.
If you put it in that way, that kind of the only part that wouldn't make sense to a degree is when he sees his sister. But other
Right.
than that, if you put it in your head, some people are capable. I'm sorry, I can't. But it made sense to me. If you put it in there as that's the clone of Luke, and that could be a exit strategy for Star Wars, for Disney. Hey, that what you saw in the Last Jedi wasn't really Luke. That was his clone. Makes
Sure.
a whole lot of
Well,
sense.
it
I'm
ties
not saying that
into
they would ever adhere to it, but just a thought out there.
sure. Well, that ties into what Paul was saying. Is you accept what you like, what you've previously liked as Star Wars. Set in stone. This is Star Wars, and anything on top of that, if you like stuff from it, cool. If you don't like it, don't care all that much.
I wish
you don't have
that.
to put that much emphasis into
I
it.
wish I could do that, but I'm a person. I see it like this: if I go to a restaurant and I order an entree, the dinner, and the dessert, and the
Who
entree
wants to lick the batter?
and the dinner is bad and the dessert is okay, can I go in there and sing praises of it? I can't do it.
Sure.
And that's just the best analogy. Like I said, I hope Andor proves everybody wrong and it's great. But the last two shows for me, yeah. I'll be honest, I would have been happier if they came out with the Luke Skywalker show. Cut everything out, put the Luke in there. Let's have a Luke Skywalker show. Let's fill in the gaps. Maybe they'll still do it, but
Sure.
I'm more excited for Ahsoka. I'll be honest.
Okay, well, at least you're excited for something. That's good. That's good. I guess my approach to it, if we're using the restaurant analogy, would be more like a buffet. And I'm sitting there eating my stuff, and I got what I like, and they bring out a new tray of oysters, and they set it on the bar over there. Well, I don't like oysters. Well, I'm not going to eat that. And then they bring out something else, like, oh, I got to try some of that, and I get it, and it's like, okay, this was really good. The pork was good, but the fried rice was just okay. I will go get a second serving of pork and not a second serving of fried rice. And so it's a pick and choose in my eyes. But what do I want to accept and really enjoy? And I'm going to put my effort into that, while still being able to say, hey, that fried rice is not very good, bruh.
Oh, it is so good. That's not where it's really good.
I love that edit.
My dad is so funny.
So this is where Paul gets the abuser of the elderly from.
Nope.
There we go.
Nope.
Yes.
That's all original, bud.
So
By
the
by the way-
bending of the minds when it comes to abusing of the elderly.
by the way, real quick, Tim, just
Mhm.
not to get too much off topic, but I need you to help me settle an argument between myself and
God.
Phil.
No.
In your
Bring it
opinion,
up.
in your opinion, is Led Zeppelin metal?
Yes.
Shoot, you're supposed to be on my side.
Okay. So metal. Is this from the metal stream that I missed out on?
Yes.
Okay. So metal is encompasses a lot, and specifically older metal, which I consider Led Zeppelin to be classic metal. I would accept it as metal. I wouldn't say it's just classic rock, because if you think of classic rock and you think of a lot of other stuff, it's not any kind of metal that I would listen to.
Boston is, to me, rock.
Classic rock, yes.
Rock is rock. Led Zeppelin is a lot heavier than both them bands.
Yeah.
All
Now contrasting Led Zeppelin to modern metal, it's completely wildly different. I don't know if you guys actually listen to metal. I like prog metal, really experimental, super technical metal.
Yeah.
I like it. But
I like
Led Zeppelin is not on the list of stuff that I choose to listen to.
Fair enough.
It's very different.
And as far as that metal stream goes, we will be having another one very, very soon, so you'll have another chance.
Dat Boy Steve says, no, it is not metal. You know what? I'm going to search Led Zeppelin on Google and see what Google says.
While you're doing that, you can settle the original Big King argument. John Denver is not country.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so Led Zeppelin were an English rock band.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it says on Google. Genre rock. I guess it's rock. Hard rock. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care all that much.
We argue about this night and day.
But
we do.
All right, before we get into a little bit more Andor talk, before we shut it down for the night, breaking news. Did you guys hear? It is now confirmed that a beloved Star Wars character is returning to the franchise. We've been wanting him for years, and it is confirmed he is returning. This is news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel in the holonet, we bring you news from the stars.
Is it Mace Windu?
It's Mace Windu.
Ooh, sweet.
Okay, so the sad news is, and we'll get into this article right here. It's not what you think. So Star Wars officially confirms the return of Mace Windu. The beloved Jedi is finally returning. This is from Epic Stream.
Okay.
It remains unclear whether or not Samuel Jackson will... these are all not in order. Whatever. Speaking of an upcoming Star Wars project, will mark the return of a beloved prequel trilogy character. Disney Plus's Tales of the Jedi will feature an appearance from Mace Windu, which makes a lot of sense considering the show is set in the prequel era. So it is in Tales of the Jedi.
Awesome.
The project, which hits streaming service next month, will explore the origin stories of Count Dooku and Ahsoka Tano, and it also makes the return of Liam Neeson, who will voice Qui-Gon Jinn, which is awesome. Yes. Months following his surprise cameo in Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Where's the next one? It remains unclear whether or not Samuel Jackson, where is that one, will return to voice the character, but considering the Secret Invasion star previously voiced the character in episode 11 of Star Wars The Clone Wars' 7th and final season, it seems likely that he'll be back to do Tales of the Jedi. And let's be real here, Jackson possesses such a distinct voice that it would be foolish on Lucasfilm's part not to bring him back. We'll have to wait and see. So not a whole lot of information that we didn't know, but Liam Neeson's coming back, and I would assume Jackson is coming back as well,
Nice.
Which would just be awesome. So, I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi.
I had a nightmare thought that you were going to say it was Babu Frick coming back.
Babu Frick? Wait, Babu Frick is in...
He's in this Mando Season 3 trailer.
Yeah.
Is it Mando Season 3 or Andor?
It's Mando Season 3.
Mando 3. Okay, Babu Frick is in Mando 3. That fits in the timeline a little bit better. But anyway, Mace Windu is returning, officially confirmed. We already knew that. That article wasn't really that helpful, but this has been news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel in the holonet, we bring you news from the stars.
Back to you, Bob.
Yep. In Tales of the Jedi. I saw that. Okay, so the whole point behind news from the stars is we Star Wars fans, we kind of know what's up, but these generic media websites present things that we've known for months as if they've just broken, like the story's just broke. And yeah, a lot of times the stuff that they say isn't really that helpful.
Fair enough.
No,
I don't.
that's awesome though. If he does come back to do that.
KG says his species is, but it's not Babu.
No.
Fascinating.
All right. So everyone in chat, before we get into this last couple minutes of talking about Andor, if you guys have been enjoying what you've been hearing so far and you appreciate it, delicately tap the like button. If you want to be really helpful, you can comment on the video, not just in the chat, but on the actual comment section. Here's what I want you guys to chat. I want you to comment. For the Republic. And I know I typed it weird. Go ahead and comment for the Republic. And that would help the algorithm. And if you really, really want to help the algorithm, help the algorithm promote my stuff, which is the end goal, then share the stream. Click the share. Post it on your, I don't know, Instagram or whatever. I don't have Instagram. Text it to your mom. I don't know.
Lit it up to
For the Republic. I like how I did it with the caps lock too. That's awesome.
Gotta love autocorrect, right?
Yeah, it's good to see you, Dale. Here's a sip for you. Algorithm has not been favoring me lately. Took a couple weeks off. I was sick. Didn't do any live streams.
I seen that,
Getting
man.
punished.
Got your voice back.
Getting punished. Yeah.
I could genuinely care less
funny.
about the algorithm.
Yeah. It depends on how much you want to care about it. If you want to take YouTube seriously, you have to make yourself a student and a slave to the algorithm.
Fair enough.
Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Figs and Trees, Figaro, here's a sip for you. I don't think I've seen you on my channel before, so if this is your first time, here's a sip for you. And if you've been here for a while, then I apologize for not seeing you before. All right. Everyone in chat, we got some new people that we didn't have at the beginning of the stream. Go ahead and put 1 through 10 how excited you are for Andor. 1 through 10. I want to hear what you guys, everyone I got in here right now, what you guys think. And then I'm trying to think of a question for you guys. Anything else you want to say on Andor while I'm thinking of a question?
Well, had you talked to me last time we spoke, and I said that if Andor, and I would have probably said if Andor sucks, then I'm done with Star Wars, but I'm not going to say that this time. If Andor sucks, I'm going to go to bed, get a good night's sleep, wake up in the morning, and just go about my life like normal. With this new mentality that I have regarding Star Wars, frankly, I think that's the best thing that anyone could do. Just
Sure.
if you like it, great. But if you don't like it, you're still gonna have your life to live. And honestly, so what? Disney would have given us another mediocre at best, if not subpar product, which is these days kind of par for the course. So
Yeah.
whatever.
So Dale says 9.9. That's about as enthused as you can be. That's awesome. I really hope it, for your sake at least, that the show pans out. For me, I said earlier in the show, I'm at 9.5. Very, very excited. I'm not gonna put all my eggs in that basket. I'll put 9.5 of my eggs in that basket, but I can't fully commit.
I'm a
see.
6.
Figs and
for
Trees
those
says it's a
that missed it.
10. I'm a Star Wars fan, boy, low key. Yeah, there's the kid in me says full 10. I'm so excited, and like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, it feels like Christmas. You wake up one morning and you realize, like, man, it's here. It's here. We got to go to bed and quick. Like, it's so close. And is it tomorrow at midnight Pacific?
Yeah.
So Wednesday morning, is that what it is?
Yep.
I don't know if I can commit to waking up at 3 a.m. because I'm East Coast.
Yeah, we got.
I don't know if I can do it, but
Yeah, we're gonna do the
Nothing's
whole
like that for me.
watch party and the 3 episodes, and thank God I don't have work the next day.
bruh, that's true. Oh my gosh, yeah, 3 episodes. I probably would barely finish watching them by the time it's time to go to work. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I might watch the first episode at 3 a.m.
Mm.
and then watch the other two, Wednesday night. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So we have what, 12 episodes in this first season?
I
Is
believe
that what
so.
I heard?
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
All right.
I think.
They're already going with a multiple seasons with Andor.
We have at
Yes,
least
2
two
seasons.
confirmed.
I wrote Andor on my calendar, hoping they release it a bit early. That would be nice. I know they released Kenobi an hour early. Because
Yeah.
I remember I was trying to take a quick nap before it popped up. And then the Discord started blowing up. Like, it's live, everyone, it's live, go.
Yeah.
12. I usually work until 1 a.m. So it comes when here, and I'm usually not winding down until maybe 2 or 3 anyway. Yeah.
Right on, man.
I'm just excited. I'm just
Right.
the flappy hands are gonna. You guys know how I get in my reactions. Just like
Yeah. Enjoy it.
so
very
excited.
thoroughly.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Coffee. I want Mickey D's coupons. When did you change your name?
You didn't notice that?
No. How did I
As we were
not? How did I
talking,
not
was
notice that?
real quick
Here's the
typing
thing.
in.
Here's the thing. Phil is a freeloader. He wants McDonald's so badly, but he's not willing to pay for himself. So he's trying to go around begging for McDonald's coupons from just about everyone. He does it with me. He does it with Brandon. Now he's doing it with you. And I tried offering him gift cards, but he wants specifically coupons.
Coupons, or what did they used to call the little booklet you get with like $1 coffee or $1 cheeseburger, the gift certificates. So Paul,
Okay, so it's
Paul's tried to give me expired McDonald's coupons.
I didn't know that they were expired when I found them.
See, now you know what's going on. Now you hear the truth.
okay.
And if you
I
guys
don't,
wanna
I
see
don't. I don't know what's going on. I hear you,
Uh-huh.
but it's just like an umbrella. It's going right over my head.
And if you guys want to see even more unfiltered craziness like this, come subscribe to my channel at Fandomology.
Yes, please do. I know between the people we have in here right now, we got a couple people watching. Some of you guys are not subscribed to Fandomology. So please do. I'm gonna search up some. You guys talk about something real quick after I catch this point. I'm gonna put your chat or your channel name down in here, and everyone go please subscribe to Fandomology. And get their numbers up too. Dale says the first 2 episodes are slow from what I hear, but 3 is a huge payoff. That is what I was saying earlier. That was what I was theorizing about. There's a big, really important. Gosh,
Happens the best. It happens the best. Carry on.
okay, all right. I gotta complain to all you guys.
taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
I gotta
got
complain to all you guys. I gotta admit, there's no coffee in here. I gotta wake up early for work. This is not coffee. I'm hurting. That's not good. But yes, that's what I was saying earlier. Is that episode 3 is gonna have something really important in it, and a huge payoff, as you said right there. In the first 2, if they were to release them, episode 1, wait a week. Episode 2, wait a week, and then episode 3, a lot of people would drop off. That would be my guess.
But here's the thing with that, though. The way that you said that, where episode 1, episode 2 are kind of slow, and then episode 3 is big, that's Mando season 1. And we loved that.
Mm-hmm. It was new. We knew nothing at that
is
time.
true.
It was total uncharted territory. All right, let me find Fandomology. Talk about something. Paul, what do you got going on in your channel?
Well, tomorrow, of course, is Tuesday Night Trek. We are finishing up with season 5 of Next Generation. Wednesday, we're going to be revisiting Arcane because Revisit is a new series that specifically Michael has started up, where he's going through all the stuff that he missed while he was away doing his army stuff. And then, of course, you've probably seen by now, Tim, that Animation Friday has vastly changed, where we're no longer just covering one show. We've got like 4 different shows that we're cycling through week by week. And this week, we didn't do it last week because Michael had drill, but this coming week is Batman the Animated Series. And then we'll be
Hold
and
up,
then the week
hold
after
up.
that-
Hold up.
Oh.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
We got Dan the Man.
Dan, what's up?
He is not Dan a man. He is Dan the Man.
Awesome.
Mhm.
guy.
Continue.
The week after that, though, we will be covering the entirety of season 6 of the Clone Wars. And then a month from that is when we'll be covering season 7. And yes, we will be covering your extended Revenge of the Sith.
Awesome. Now it looks like Dale and KG sub to you Fandomology, so that is
Thank
awesome.
you, guys.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
You already got mine.
That gives me the warm and fuzzies. Yeah, Dan the Man.
Also, I may or
Man.
may not be in a competition with Matt Cave to see who can get to 500 first.
Ooh, that's a good combo. You guys are neck and neck. I
Yeah.
forgot.
The deal is, if he wins, I have to review a movie of his choosing. If I win, he'll buy me any video game I want.
You know what's really funny? My subscriber number, the total number is higher than both of your channels. We're all 3 about neck and neck with
Right.
from when we started our channels, because I already had subscribers when I switched over to the Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool how we're all kind of growing at the same
Yes,
rate.
it
And then
is.
you got 2 Star Wars nerds in X-Wing, and now Star Wars theology. They're all
Mm-hmm.
off to the races.
Exactly.
That's fun. The community is so much more important than numbers.
Phil.
Oh,
Patrick Stewart is no okay. All right. Any final words? We'll start with you, Patrick Stewart as Snoke.
Well, I hope for everybody that will be watching Andor that it turns out to be everything you guys hope for. And even though I do sound kind of negative, Paul can tell you when I first watched the first 2 episodes of Kenobi, the very first episode, they had me back.
Yeah,
The
we were watching it together in our Discord.
The second episode, it went back to being Disney trash. That quick. So I hope for Disney's sake that doesn't have a repeat performance for some people. You know, if you're releasing 3 episodes, they better be some 3 great episodes right off the gate. They need Andor to be huge, and I hope they do make it huge.
Mhm.
But if they don't, what can you say? As far as I'm concerned, I didn't have any intention watching Andor. But if Paul's by himself watching it, I'll go and watch it with him. I'll suffer through it like I did Obi-Wan.
I appreciate that.
But like I
Phil.
said, the very first episode, they had me back.
All right. And you know what? I'm just going to put in here right now. If anyone is not in my Discord and you would like to join, there's the join link right there.
Mhm.
I'm always accessible. You can ask me questions and whatever. That's pretty important to me, whether I never hit 1,000 subscribers or I hit 10,000 someday. I want to be accessible to you guys, the community, because you guys are the ones that I'm talking to, and even you guys here on screen. I wouldn't have known any of you guys if it weren't for commenting on different people's videos and joining live streams and stuff. This is all fun.
Yeah.
So
always kind of funny, man. I always enjoy your time travel skits. That was comedy gold.
yeah. And in Israel, I've never had you on, but he always has the best comments. Definitely a great member to have in the community. But who did I forget? Dan the Man. He says, "What's up?" Same stuff. Just excited. Just really excited. Really excited for Andor. So, any other closing thoughts, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight.
There is one thing I do want to mention that I recently did for the channel. I've released a new song.
Yes, which I'm going to cover as soon as I can sing again, because I got my voice back, but I can't sing. And this has happened to me before. Oh, it's Dan the man.
Hello,
Hey,
man.
Dan.
Long
What's
time
up?
no see.
My friends, how are you?
Good to
Doing
see
well.
you, dude.
Good to see
You know,
boys.
Charlie can sing. Him and Strike, they did that
You,
boom bop from back in the
yeah,
90s.
that's right. Phil is in here now. Now that I've
Uh-huh.
seen your
If you
voice.
guys can only do it one more time, I'll be
Okay.
very happy and grateful.
Well, you got to pick the atmosphere, bud.
All right, all right. Well, we got to wind down tonight's stream. But while we got Dan the man in here, scale of 1 to 10, how hyped are you for Andor and why?
I give it a solid 4.5. And,
All right, I can respect it.
And why? Same as now his name is NC is Hurricane State. Just
Yeah.
not really, Rogue One was great at the time. There was a time I thought Rogue One was the best Star Wars movie ever, and then I came back to my senses, and I went back to Return of the Jedi. Fight me.
Yeah.
Then and Andor is just I'm just not vibing with it, man. Like, yeah, it's gonna be more adult, but we've heard that before.
Yeah.
And it's just something that's not really on my radar. I am waiting on my Ahsoka, my Jedi, and my World Between Worlds. I need
Yeah,
all
a
of
lot,
that.
a lot of people feel the same way. I'll give you my quick top 4 favorite Star Wars movies, real quick, right off the bat. Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Rogue One, Attack of the Clones. That's my top 4.
Empire Strikes Back.
Nope. That's going to be number 5, unfortunately.
Really?
Yes, really.
Are you
You're having me have a
that's
heart
just me.
attack here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Justice for the old people. You're going to trying to take me out.
No, I think the main reason for that is because I just don't have the nostalgia for the original trilogy. I of course watched them first, before I watched the prequels. I've told the story about how my dad and I, on my birthday, every year we'd watch the next movie, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I just don't have the nostalgia for the original trilogy, and it hits me way too hard. Episodes 1 through 3 and Rogue One, I really like it so much. And I'm really hoping that the nostalgia for the prequels combined with the storytelling and the action of Rogue One is what they're using to make this show. So I'm really looking forward to it. We'll wrap it up with that. It's nice to see all you guys here tonight. Everyone in chat, I really appreciate you all stopping by. Andor is here, and we will know. We'll get 3 episodes, and next week we'll talk about how those 3 episodes hit or missed. But it's very nice to see you guys. If you've been here from the very beginning, I really appreciate your time. May the stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.
Stay awesome.